Hey everyone, this is Jaime Resendez with Echo Real Estate Advisors. As you may have heard, real estate Facebook audiences are gone. Over the past several days/weeks, some of the target audiences that real estate professionals had counted on to run their promotions or run their ads or demonstrate their services are no longer there. So this goes back to third-party data and Facebook not doing that any longer. So they were getting information and integrating it into an algorithm and all that fun stuff. So that Facebook was able to provide and serve to real estate professionals and professionals in many other industries, where Facebook was able to provide audiences that were likely to use that specific marketers or that specific practitioner's services, essentially making it much easier for people to run ads and actually be successful, i.e. more revenue for Facebook, considering that if I'm a real estate agent, I'm targeting people that are highly likely to use my services from a buyer perspective or from a seller's perspective. It just became that much more enticing for me to actually use Facebook and target the specific people that I wanted to target. However, some of those audiences are no longer there. So you were, in the past, able to target homeowners, people that are likely to move, or people that Facebook had good reason to believe were likely to move, renters, and also people based off of their income. So all of these were self-reported, especially the income version. So the income target or demographic, and these are no longer there, which many of the real estate professionals right now are scrambling to find a different strategy, because it was very simple to go and create an ad, target people that are likely to move, and actually get leads regardless of how good or bad your ad was, or good or bad your imagery was, or whatever the case may be. It was a lot simpler. Like anything, more and more people started advertising on the platform and started to cause the lead cost to increase, and so there's a bit more competition. So some people got squeezed out organically, but regardless whether they were squeezed out because of the price or the relevance score or whatever the case may be, even the person that was newer to the Facebook platform or newer to advertising, they were still having success with likely to move as an example, or targeting renters as another example, because their message was actually being presented to their audience. They may not be as effective or efficient as other marketers out there, or other real estate agents out there, or other professionals that were advertising on the platform, but they were still getting business. Now that the certain audience targets are gone, they need to start planning for something else, and that's what this video is about. Essentially giving you 3 different strategies that you can implement right now and start generating business. So the long-term strategy. Thing to understand about the long-term strategy, as the name suggests, it takes a little bit longer. So you have to be more patient than the other 2 strategies that I've suggested. But also, with the long-term strategy, understand that it's going to cost you a little bit of money. And essentially how that works is you target a larger audience, and don't put so many filters when you're creating your audience on Facebook. You're not going to put many filters in it, because you're really casting a wide net, and then you start the segmenting of the audience. Ultimately, you retarget that audience and generate a lead. And you'll see what that looks like on Facebook. We're going to go over and check that out. But I wanted to present this conceptually first, And then we're going to get into the practical, the actual how it works, and goes a little bit beyond theory. So I want something that is practical. I want something that you do have at your fingertips, ultimately, so you can make it actionable. Now that's the long-term strategy. Go with the large audience, segment that audience that you're targeting, and then retarget them. Ultimately, you get leads on the back end, if you will, or towards the end. This segmented audiences with the audiences that went away, the homeowners likely to move, renters, and income, you can consider those being here. You didn't have to spend money and time targeting larger audience and then getting to the segmented. Facebook provided these for you. So when you're talking about a conversion funnel or a lead funnel or a sales funnel, whatever you want to call it, you were a little bit further down the path because Facebook had already done this for you and produced a segmented audience that you could then run an ad directly to, and essentially serve you some leads. So that's the long-term strategy. That'll always be there because you can start segmenting your own audiences and market to the people that you want to. Now, go into the midterm strategy. 3 things that you're going to want to do for a midterm strategy is target real estate interest, target family changes, and then niche down into specific demographics that you want to work with or specific specific industries that you want to work with, and you'll see how that works on Facebook. The midterm strategy takes a little bit less time, and it, in theory, should cost a little bit less, which you will see in actuality that's the case. Short-term strategy, really focusing around custom audiences and lookalike audiences. That is very, very beneficial for you as a real estate professional. Now, some pros and cons to this are that if you're a newer agent, then a custom audience is a little bit more difficult to generate. You pretty much have to go back to a medium or a long-term strategy and try to get emails, try to get names, try to get physical locations. So essentially create a database for yourself that you can import into Facebook and ultimately create that custom audience. So if you haven't done much business, if you're newer to the industry and don't have past clients, then a custom audience becomes a little bit more difficult. So you have to spend money in advertising and generating that database, generating that audience that you can import into Facebook for it to actually produce something of value to you. And then the lookalike audience is leveraging the custom audience. So if you're a newer agent, you're at a bit of a disadvantage in more ways than one. But as on the flip side, if you're a more established agent and have had transactions and have had business or been around a little bit longer, you do have a more robust database that you can leverage custom audiences a little bit easier, so you don't have to spend as much money to spit out a custom audience or a lookalike audience. But again, with the short-term strategy and the nature of this video, I want to provide actionable solutions for you and not just complain about the easy button going away. So that is a bit of an introduction into the problem. Let's get some solutions. Right? There we go. Okay. All right. This is... Got ahead of myself. What are we doing here? All right. Okay, this is your custom audience. This is your audiences tab. Now to get here, most of you that you're watching this video, and if you're newer to Facebook, this may you may not necessarily know how to get here, but I do have a Facebook course that teaches you everything from beginning to end. So feel free to jump over in the comment section, in the description section, you'll have a link to it. But essentially what we're doing is we're going to the audiences. And that long-term strategy that I mentioned earlier is going to look something like this. You're going to go to create an audience and do a saved audience. Now, before I launch any ads, I actually save an audience prior to. I don't like running an ad going from the campaign section, then moving to the ad set, and then actually creating the ad. Because whenever I create something, I want to be a little bit more efficient with my time, and I don't want to have to recreate the same audience every single time that I'm trying to target that audience. I want to call it back. So I go to the Audiences tab to create that audience. Now, to show you what it looks like in actuality, let's target, let's go with Dallas. We'll narrow it down. This is more of an example so you see it. So if you're targeting in Dallas, your potential reach is 1,900,000 people. So if you went on that long-term strategy and you were trying to farm the entire Dallas area, which I wouldn't suggest to do this, but if you have the money, the patience, and everything else, then by all means, target Dallas and then start drilling away and start segmenting your own target audience. And let's see. Just to save ourselves a little bit of money, let's target more of the first-time home buyers. Let's go here. So that's a good range. Let's see if we narrow down that audience a bit. There we go. We just whittled it away and saved ourselves a lot of time and a lot of money getting down to a generic profile of a first-time home buyer. So the age, you do want to take a lot of context clues and actually whittle down your whittle down your audience, your local association, or whomever you're a part of in your real estate career. They should have a lot of data points, and even public information will give you average ages of first-time home buyers, kind of what the trends are millennials purchasing, which right now they are. So a lot of information that'll be valuable to you. So you want to start based off of some averages, so you can save yourself a little bit of money, and actually a considerable amount of money. So you don't have to cast that net out so wide. So the long-term strategy is essentially put as little filters as possible and then run your ads. So this is your targeting audiences. Again, there's a reason it's long-term strategy. It costs more, and it's going to take some time for you to whittle down to actually seeing people that are engaging with your audiences. But this is more of the shotgun approach. This is a wide net. Ultimately, you start trying to whittle it down. If you have the money and patience to go down this route, do it. But if you don't, the medium and short term are actually kind of where I want to focus on so you get the most value from it. Now, the medium strategy, as I mentioned before, was, just so you see it, medium strategy revolved around targeting real estate interest, family changes, and niching down. So let me show you something really cool. Same tab as we were before. Before we were here on the audiences. That's actually my other tab up there. But to save time, I went ahead and opened another one. Instead of going to your audiences as an asset and you're creating that saved audience, what you want to do is go to Audience Insights first, and it'll populate this. and then type Zillow right here. Again, we're going based off of real estate interest. So the methodology behind this is, if I'm targeting people that are wanting to purchase a home or sell a home, then most likely they're going to like Zillow. Most likely they're going to like Trulia. They want these sites, and they're engaging with the sites that essentially help them determine what areas they want to purchase in, show them homes, or provide valuable tips on what to avoid as a home buyer or what to avoid as a home seller. So essentially, they're going to be engaging with real estate interest in some capacity. When you go to Audience Insights and you type this in, you get so much information. So people, there's 64% of the audience that have engaged with Zillow are women, and then you see 36% are men. You get a lot of valuable information in terms of their relationship status, their education level, job title. That's not too important for me at this time. What I'm interested in is on the page likes. You see the top categories in each section. But what's super cool is you see the people that have engaged with Zillow. The relevance score is 1 because that's what you actually input. You see the audience that Zillow has, and on Facebook as well. Now the affinity, read this. So how likely your audience is to like a given page compared to everyone on Facebook. You see it's 67 times. So that's the interest that we selected. So it makes sense that it's number 1. It has the most affinity to like itself and engage with itself. But what I'm after when I type in Zillow, what I'm after is the rest of them. I'm after the Pottery Barns. I'm after the Home Goods, Pier 1s, Wayfair, IKEA. So what I did there was target. You'll see it here, detailed targeting. This is where the whole likely to move used to appear. You see that that's not there anymore. You see that renters isn't there anymore. You see renters insurance, but it used to say that it used to target people that were actually renting, so it was much easier to target your audience. But what we want to do now is we're going to target real estate interests. So you have Zillow, and the stereotypical ones would be Trulia, you would see homes.com, and just go off of that. But had I not gone to Audience Insights, I would have known that Pottery Barn, people that engaged with Zillow are very likely to engage with Pottery Barn and vice versa. So you're seeing that Pottery Barn has a very close audience to the people that like Zillow. So you're expanding your real estate interest to include Pottery Barn, Home Goods. So I'm going to put it here. Oops. And you start crafting your audience. So you see here we've reduced it from 980,000 to 280,000 and increasing it back up with the help of the Audience Insight. So that's a way to use and leverage an audience that you already know will engage, and then multiply it. So that's what's meant by a targeted real estate interest. Now another strategy that's been very helpful, and these were ads that I was running way before. This has been months back. I've actually not been using likely to move or anything else like that for the longest time, knowing that they were going away. So I certainly didn't want my ads to be affected so drastically, which a lot of real estate agents right now are suffering with that right now, because they were so leveraged on likely to move, so leveraged on renters, so leveraged on homeowners, that now they're not able to run those ads, and that's hurting them. Another strategy you can do is focus on family changes. What I mean by that is target people that have just become parents. So there's an audience here. New parents. Parents with adult children. So if it's a new parent, then with new parents, a common ad to be run is, well, if you just became a new parent, you may be looking to buy your first first home. If you're a new parent, or if you already have children and let's see, where is it? Toddlers, you may be looking to actually upgrade your home. The changing of the family demographics is going to dictate if you need to move up in home, meaning more rooms, more space. You're able to target that and are able to see the audience that are specifically affected by that family status or that change in family dynamics. You see the potential reach here is 14,000. So that's 14,000 people of new parents that in the past 12 months have changed status. So again, a type of ad that you can run is, hey, do you need more room, or do you need to purchase your first home? Things of that nature. So again, you're not casting a net so broad, because ultimately the broader that you are, the costlier that it's going to be and the longer that it's going to take for you to get the results that you're seeking. So that's what's meant by the change in family. If you go to parent again, on the reverse side, you can target people with adult children. Are you looking to downsize? You see that you have some you're essentially an empty nester. Of course, you wouldn't need a craft ad copy that's a little bit more tactful than the examples that I'm giving you, but just giving you the straight up methodology behind each one of them. Now, the last one, niching down. What I mean by that is you can target people that are teachers. You can target your teachers out there. You can target math teachers, art teachers. Well, job titles is essentially what I'm getting after. If they're teachers, there are some programs out there for teachers. There are some programs out there for firemen, for policemen. So crafting an ad that is specifically geared towards teachers, specifically geared towards policemen, towards firemen is so powerful, because you can still target that specific job title. And the reason that teachers and policemen and firemen are coming up as an example is because there's programs like that help people in those professions get into a home with little to no money down, favorable down payment options. So there's just a lot of value that you can provide that people don't necessarily think of. And let's just say you just wanted to work with dentists for whatever reason. Well, you can target those dentists. And yes, I am going to be generalizing quite a bit, but dentists make a good amount of money. So you don't need dentists to self-report what they make, which you can't see that any longer. Before, you could target people that had an income of over $100,000, and it would be easy to target that. But you can choose professions that you have a good understanding of how much they make. Again, it's generalizing, but you're pulling in a lot of different characteristics from different people that's going to be so helpful to you as you're running ads. So that's how you segment it and niche down into professions, into just thinking outside of the box. And again, the likely to move button has gone away. There's no bringing it back at this point. So this is a different way to target the same type of people. And yeah, there is going to be a bit of segmenting. There is going to be a bit of segmenting the audience even more, so then you can ultimately run the ad and or retarget them as soon as you see some traction in a certain profession or a certain demographic that you have targeted. But that's essentially the medium-term strategy. All right, let's go to the short-term strategy, custom audiences. Your custom audiences are right here. I was right there on the saved audience. Now we're going to jump over the custom audience. If you have a customer profile, again, this is going to benefit the agents that have been around the industry a little bit longer or have had a bit more success in the real estate career, to where they can import their customer file and run ads not only to the people that they sold a home to, but also target those people that look like that profile, that customer that they sold to. Website traffic and engagement. So this is part of that whole segmenting and retargeting. So you can run an ad, point people to a certain website, and then target the traffic that visited that website. Now, I don't want to get too many things. I don't want to conflate too many different things, because there are a few moving parts here, but it's important to introduce the concept of a pixel. If you don't know what a pixel is, or have heard it before, I do have a Facebook course that can help explain that to you, how to install it, and really provide a very good description of what it is and how to use it, how to maximize it. So all of these are explained in that course. With the engagement, you see create a list of people who engaged in your content on Facebook. So with the engagement tab, you're essentially, what you're doing here is part of this. You've segmented the audience. You've run an ad to a larger audience. You see the people that have engaged right here, and then you retarget them. That retargeting is part of this. So again, what makes this so important is, if you're driving people to a website, you need to have that pixel installed in your website. If you have run an ad, like an engagement ad, then people that have engaged with your content or your ad in some capacity, you can retarget those. But again, it does require a bit of methodology behind it. It requires some time, and it requires some money to get to this stage to be able to convert them. If you already have a database of past clients, then that's when you go to the customer file, add customers from your own file, or copy and paste data. That's where we're going to go. And you can import a file, or you can copy and paste the file. Now, again, I mentioned that I wanted, at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that I wanted to help newer agents as well. This isn't only for agents that are more established or have had already a good amount of success with their real estate business. So I want to be able to help as many people as possible. So 2 strategies that you can implement right now. One's a free version, and then the other one's more of a paid version. What you can do is go to your LinkedIn. If you're a newer agent, or if you're an older agent, or have been around, I don't want to offend anybody, but so if you've been around the industry for a while, that's what I'm characterizing as an older agent. I'm not going based off of age. So just wanted to call that out. Regardless of where you are in your real estate career, what you can do is go to your LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn, create one and start befriending people that you already know. Start crafting your own audience. There's another video. I don't want to get too much into that. There's another video. If it's not in one of the links that you see on your screen, then it should be on the description of this video. But you can go to LinkedIn, and you can actually import your own contacts. So if you already have a LinkedIn and have 500 connections, 200 connections, 10,000 connections, however large your network is, you can actually import that data from LinkedIn, you would go through the settings. Again, there's another video that I recommend that you go and watch, where you pull that information, and in less than 24 hours, LinkedIn will email you the link to your actual data. And in it, you're going to find your network. You're going to find the name of the individual that you are connected to already. You're going to find their phone number if it's available, and you're going to find what's most important here is their email. So chances are that if your connection signed up to LinkedIn, since it's a free service, unless you go to the premium version, they use the same email in LinkedIn as they did in Facebook. So that's super important, because that email, if Facebook recognizes it, if that person used the same email, they're going to be able to pull in that profile and pull in all that information. So as a free way of creating a custom audience, that would be my suggestion. Go to LinkedIn and pull your data that you already have there, or go to LinkedIn, create a network of people that you know already, and establish a network of sorts, and pull that information, upload it in here, and then you can target those people with your ads, and then go and do the whole lookalike audience, which after you create your custom audience, you'll be able to do that on your next steps. Now that was a free version, right? That was a free strategy. Now, if you want a paid strategy, then I've been doing quite a few videos about it for a while now. But if you're going over to Remind, if you go over to your MLS, if you already have the MLS, well, I won't go into that one. If you already have Remind or are aware of Remind, then I would be pulling information from there. It's this super cool, or actually go to Remind. It's a super cool software. We'll go over to their pricing, that you're able to pull information onto a CSV file that of people that you target, whether that be by how long they've lived in a home, whether that be how much equity they have, whether that be what their sales score is. Again, Remind takes a algorithmic approach to generating a sales score. They rank it from low, medium to high. A high likely to sell would essentially mean they're wanting to sell within the first. There's a high probability that that homeowner is going to sell in the next 12 months. A medium score gives them a high probability that they're going to sell between 12 and 24 months, and a low score essentially means 24 plus. There's a high probability in that respect. So go over and check out Remind. That's a way to do it. They have a free starter plan, so technically 2 free. I was not expecting that, so there you go. So they do have a free starter version, so you could do that. And they have 250 tracked items, which essentially means properties. Then $99, you can get 500 tracked properties. And the pro version, you can track up to 10,000 homes, which at that point, you can target the specific homeowners / homes that are likely to do well, that are likely to sell. So I guess technically it's 2 free versions, but no, I won't do that to you. So the free version is going down to LinkedIn, and then the paid version, which is what I would suggest, of going and signing up for Remind, pulling in as much information as possible of your farm, and be targeting the people that are are considerably more likely to do the action that you're seeking, which is selling their home. So I hope that provided a bit of clarity into what you can be doing right now that the homeowner audience is gone, the likely to move audience is gone, renters and income. There's different ways to continue using Facebook and leveraging Facebook in the most efficient way. and in the least costly way. So these are just some strategies that I've been using with the agents that I personally consult with, and also a lot of these strategies were already in my, actually all of these strategies and then some are already in my Facebook course, considering that I haven't been using these. It's been months now. Ever since they announced it, it's been months. So whenever they announced it, I kind of shot myself in the foot in the immediate term, but I think right now is when it's starting to pay off, where I shut off all of my ads and started working around the audience targeting that was going to go away. So right now is when you start seeing some good results, and I hope this was helpful. If there's anything that I could do, feel free to reach out. My contact information is on the details. So thanks so much.